Good morning. It's November 13th today, and we are still in Hebrews chapter 11. And one of the things I love about Hebrews 11 is it gives us a very interesting, short commentary on Old Testament characters and figures that we're very familiar with. And it's such a helpful summary of their life and what was going on in their minds, their motivation, why they were doing what they were doing. And it's also obviously a biblical interpretation of that. In other words, it comes from an inspired author, so we can trust what he's saying about this. And so I find the summary of Moses' life very succinct, but also very revealing. And here it is in verse 24 of Hebrews 11. By faith, Moses, when he had grown up, refused to be known as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He chose to be mistreated along with the people of God rather than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. He regarded disgrace for the sake of Christ as of greater value than the treasures of Egypt, because he was looking ahead to his reward. By faith he left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He persevered because he saw him who is invisible. By faith he kept the Passover and the application of blood, so that the destroyer of the firstborn would not touch the firstborn of Israel. And actually, as the author of Hebrews gives this summary of his life, I think it's helpful for us then to remember who Moses was, even as a young child, a young person, when he's first called by God, and through that first Passover, what a tremendous amount of faith it took for him to believe this God, who hadn't talked to Israel in about 400 years. And Moses himself, having grown up in Pharaoh's household, to him, this God was a foreign God. Although, of course, his mother helped to raise him, his sister helped to raise him. They would have told him about this God as well. But it took him a tremendous amount of courage, which is then undergirded by a tremendous amount of faith to live the kind of life that Moses lived, completely swimming against all other influences in his life, especially the most powerful one, the empire really of Egypt, and all of the riches, all of the power that it offered to him. He has to completely forsake all of that in order to follow after God. And I think it's interesting also that the author here talks about disgrace for the sake of Christ as of greater value than the treasures of Egypt. That there is even in Moses a seed of faith that will eventually become revealed in the coming one for us, the Messiah, Jesus Christ himself. And so there's already a faith in Messiah present in Moses when he first decides to follow the Lord and to lead the people out of Egypt. And so that's a powerful faith, one that would last him through those 40 years in the wilderness and give him hope to persevere when everything around him would be telling him that that was irrational.